I totally revealed my mask. I totally revealed my mask also for myself. Wow. Because I had never realized that before.
What's good, y'all? This is MaskOFF Interview Series Episode 3 with my brother
Kyree.
Yo, tell us a little bit about yourself, like who you are.
I'm a senior at Morehouse, philosophy major from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I know Pat from being his RA, and also just being his Morehouse brother, having a great time in Atlanta, and really just trying to figure out life right now, for real.
Yes, sir. And as y'all know, I'm your host, Patrick, aka Parmesan Cheese on the gram, which will be right here. So go follow that and tune in. And the big question I have for you today is, what challenge did you overcome in your life that you could look back on and say, it made me a better man today? Let's get into it.
Okay, bet. I think the first challenge that come to mind is like the transitional period in Morehouse where I was an RA, and I was also trying to be like a good influence on the campus, on the community. So like I had to get the RA job to help me pay for school. Like that helped me knock out room and board. It was like a smooth $20K. So I had to keep that job to make sure I got through Morehouse, but I saw the importance that job has on our matriculation and on the campus environment. So I understood like my RAs put me in a position to have friends for life. Like my RAs put me in a position that when we first stepped down and we first lived on the floor together and we 30 men deep, using a 4-shower bathroom, we saw ourselves as brothers. You see what I'm saying? And when I saw that, I wanted to be a part of that. But I didn't realize the fact that it was a real job, like really weighing and really tussling with 130 to 200 people's different problems and having to be the source for some people's answers was tough, while listening to the rules and also playing both sides of, I want to be a good influence at Morehouse, and I also want to do what I can to ease the stress and the bills for my family and for myself, because student debt is real. And while I was there, I watched a couple people like get fired for things that I thought were the right thing or things that I was also doing. But I mean, I learned in the long run, like I always went about it in a way that I would never do anything that would go against my original premise, which was to take this position to help myself out, but more so to get to know more people and help more brothers out. And I feel like I did that to the max. Like I've helped and worked with more classes than I would have gotten to work with if I was just a regular student. RA Life put me in touch with the underclassmen. RA Life put me in touch with upperclassmen. And then they even gave me connections outside of Morehouse while I was still there. So it was a tough time. Definitely a couple times I swore I was going to get fired. I thought things were, definitely close. I watched some bros get fired and I helped them become RAs. So it was weird to see that happen, but like to see the relationships that I fostered while being an RA turn into things like this interview, things like, the bros connecting with me over the summer, over quarantine, like genuine bonds. I don't regret anything. It was definitely stressful. Like my grades took a hit for it, but in the long run, I came to Morehouse to connect with like-minded black men. You feel what I'm saying? So if the sacrifice for that is, having to follow a couple rules here and there, but being able to help brothers the way I want to, then I'm cool with that. That's how I felt about it. You remember Tweedle, so I ain't even gonna.
Yeah, Tweedle was hard.
Yeah, it's
explain to the
hard.
people though, like you don't gotta say his full name, government, but
no,
explain what type of energy.
It was weird because it's like when you go to Morehouse, you realize like quickly like it's the students that run stuff. You know what I mean? So like when you got brothers who really care about the positions that they're holding and not just holding them for resume purposes, like you don't really gotta tell them too much. You just gotta steer them in the right direction. You just got to show them like, yo, this is the better way to execute the ideas that you have. And at times we didn't really have that leadership. You feel what I'm saying? It felt like our leadership was waiting for us to make a mistake, to point out a mistake, to not really give us tips and tricks to bounce back from it. You know what I'm saying? Or we extended ourselves in a brotherly way of, seeing a brother make a mistake as an RA and knowing that I'm the line between this getting, to administration and it getting further than it needs to get, or me being the person to step to him and be like, yo, this is a responsible way to do the things that you're trying to do. You feel what I'm saying? Like breaking visitation, that's a young boy move. Like that's a move that a freshman is gonna make, but that's not a move worth going to the dean of discipline or the dean of like somebody who's breaking visitation and put them on the record of someone who's breaking the rules. You see what I'm saying? Like that line is hard to tell, and we had a boss that was real strict about it. You feel what I'm saying? Like average things that we knew people in our school get into, like brothers in our school will naturally do, we tried our best to, work around what the rules said to, put a dude in the system type time. And you would think Morehouse would be the place to avoid those type of lessons, but it's really your brothers who have to help you avoid those lessons. Because if somebody has to do their job and you bring, an important matter to them, then they're going to do their job. But, being an RA, we were the front line of, if I see something wrong, I can address this and somebody can learn a lesson without them learning the lesson the hard way. You see what I'm saying? So that was a hard, like that was a lesson I had to learn, like as far as like conflict resolution and learning different personalities and working with different personalities. But man, yeah, like you said, the boss was definitely tough. The boss was definitely tough.
What came out of that? What came out of facing the boss and following rules? Like you said, like what did you gain from that?
I mean,
at this point now, what lessons did you learn that made you a better person, made you more skillful in the way you move?
I think it was really like growing up, like in Philly, like we call it being thorough, but like really standing on 10 toes and like knowing what you're about and caring about people with compassion is something that like I hold myself to. So I may have signed up for a position that told me to hold my brothers to a certain level of accountability when certain mistakes are made or when I see certain things, but to know the position that they were in, like when I was an RA, I was an RA 2 months after being a freshman. So I'm running around trying to tell freshmen how to be, Morehouse men, but I'm 6 months older than these dudes. Like we just came from high school together for real. So towing that line of like not being not let my head get too big that I let the power, start to weigh me and I'm looking at people like, oh, this is what you should do, this is what you should do, you shouldn't do this, but looking at it like true advice type time. You see what I'm saying? Like when somebody comes to a new place and they see you having a position of leadership in any type of way, they're going to respect you. You see what I'm saying? They're going to look up to you, especially in the space that we are in Morehouse where it's like we came here to meet like-minded black men. So if you're a year older than me or 2 classes above me, I'm already looking at you as someone that I'm trying to be because we're going through the same process together. So I could easily misguide you by not being real. I could easily misguide you by only listening to the rules and not looking at each situation specific to like, this is bigger than just a student breaking a rule. This is bigger than somebody not going to class. This is bigger than somebody excluding themselves from the community. You see what I'm saying? Like this is a young black man who came here for the same purpose I came here for. You feel what I'm saying? So any mistake or anything that he's doing wrong, I know how to help those things because I'm going through it. I can't go to an administrator to teach me how to go through it. Like you got to learn those mistakes as you go. You see what I'm saying? Like you see a brother remove himself from the community, you got to take it upon yourself to go over there. Because most people only gonna ask him like, oh, you're probably having a bad day. Give it some time to breathe. But it's like if you really get to the bottom of it, bro would thank you for life for that. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that's not nothing that I took for granted when I was an RA.
Okay, so basically you saying it's deeper than you being an RA and being head of a dorm. You know what I'm saying? It's more like you have a community of brothers that you're trying to uplift, and as you guide yourself, you're trying to guide them and lead them.
Literally, bro. Because it's like if you go to our school and off top, like community is everything. Like if people don't enjoy the places that they at, then they're gonna like subconsciously destroy them type time. Like if you don't enjoy the places that you live at, that you eat at, that you learn, then that place is going to become poisonous to you. When it becomes toxic to be in these places that you're supposed to be growing in, you're going to do the opposite of growth type time. And then when you do the opposite of growth, there's a tendency amongst black men to also bring other people down. You see what I'm saying? So out the gate, building community and letting people understand that committing themselves to this thing that we call our home is a sacrifice, not a punishment almost. You see what I'm saying? So like that was fun to learn like within itself because like that's a real people skill. Like getting people to commit to something that we all have an interest in, and everybody has their different ulterior motives, but if you can link people together and help create a community, you can do good work without a doubt. That's definitely what Morehouse taught me.
That's true. Community is everything. Community is everything for sure. And like you said, I just want to go off what you said about when people feel like an environment is not for them or they're not engaged in the environment, they don't feel like they have a purpose. It becomes toxic. They become poisonous and they poison other people. That's not even a black people thing or a white people thing. That's a human thing.
No, yeah.
When you become toxic and you don't heal, you spread that toxicity. So it's very important for us to heal, talk, communicate, and spread love so we can help heal each other to have a more healthy environment like we doing in this shop right now. This is an example of healing right now. Talking about challenges we overcame and looking at challenges as a catapult for change and progression instead of a downfall. This is healing. So this is exactly what we need to do to create healthy environments and healthier communities. You can do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? In your barbershop, in your neighborhood.
I think the last thing I would say is like, for real, it taught me that like the sacrifices you got to make to see through a vision that you want. You feel what I'm saying? It was childish of me to think that just getting one position will help me become, impactful and I meet all these brothers and we all just be friends. And then actually getting in that position and seeing, how I really had to do my job, but also, stay true to the intent that I had. Like it's sacrifices that you got to make to get the things you want. Like, and there's no getting around it as a man. Like, you really, like, if you want to be a certain way, you got to live that way from the jump. You're not going to wake up and be that.
Yo, I'm lying. Or he don't look like Radio Raheem. Do the right thing.
Oh, God.
Tell me I'm lying, bro. Tell me he don't look like Radio Raheem. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's actually the owner of the building.
Okay.
That's tough.
That's tough.
Black ownership.
Yeah, got to do that. But like you said, you have to make sacrifices to get in the position you want to be. You can't just want something and be like, it's mine, I have it. You know what I'm saying? The amount of strength and perseverance you have while overcoming struggles to get to where you want shows how much you really desire that thing that you're trying to achieve. So it's almost like putting you a test to like, how much do you really want this?
For real.
How much will you really go through and really go deep within yourself to achieve this?
How consistent can you be? Yeah.
Exactly. It's really testing your gangsters, testing your thoroughness, like you said. Where it's testing your gangsters.
Plan A don't work. Can you go to C and D? Like,
yeah.
Oh God.
But nah, that's your story. Like,
no, yeah, that's your story.
I bet. So now that story time is complete. Just some main takeaways from that I got before we get into just the questions and open up the shop. That I liked when you said I stuck to my premises no matter how what the boss was saying, what he was telling us to do, because at the end of the day, that's about intention. You intended to go into this environment and give this and share this energy, and then you intended to receive a certain energy, and you wasn't going to change or switch up for anybody.
Nah.
So it made you more focused, and it actually made you more efficient in your environment and more helpful. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're a laser, you're focused, you're going to hit your target. And when you stick to your intentions and you go in a place knowing what you want to receive and what you want to give, your energy is kind of focused like a laser.
Yeah.
Instead of, if you didn't have a premise, you didn't have intentions, everybody could have swayed your energy whichever way they wanted to.
Easy.
You know what I'm saying? And that's counterproductive. You know what I'm saying? So I respected that you had a premise and that you had intentions. And I also respected that you said you have to struggle to get to where you want to be. And it's foolish to think that you could just get what you want when you want it. That's not how life works. You got to put in that work to be where you see yourself being. At the end of the day, the struggles is going to show you stronger parts of yourself that you never even knew you had. So struggles is a blessing in disguise at the end of the day. And that's what I respected. The fact that you have a love for the brotherhood and the community, and you want to grow a healthier community. That's what it's all about.
Be hands-on.
That's what it's all about. Be hands-on. Find out. For the most important thing that I want to express to people who are watching this is find out your own gift. Find out your purpose so you could be helpful and know your assets, so you know what energy you bring to an environment. Because if you don't know the energy you bring to an environment, you're going to be confused and people are going to use you. But if you know yourself, nobody could use you. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about, knowing who you are.
Know your role and play it well.
Know your role and play it well. Knowledge and love over everything. That's all it's about. So, you know what I'm saying? We got 3 topics today. that we starting off with. So now that his story time is over, Kyree's story time is over, the whole barbershop can now, communicate, talk, and interact. So it's like, a normal Friday afternoon. You at the shop, we just talking. So my first topic of discussion that I want to, share with the environment and just see people's responses and how they think is, like, how do you build a deeper foundation of self-discipline, and how does that affect your life if you don't have it or you do have it? So, like, how do you build a deeper foundation of self-discipline? How does that affect your life? How has that affected your life? Anybody can answer. Like, anybody can answer when they're ready. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I want to first commend Kyree on his story time. I thought what he shared was very insightful, impactful. I think, I just got to commend any young man that takes on the responsibility above and beyond what he's tasked to do, in higher education. And does like even more, you know what I'm saying? As an RA, you're stepping into a leadership position, and that comes with a lot of, like you said, sacrifice. It comes with a lot of extra weight on your shoulders. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I tip my hat to you, brother. That's solid.
I appreciate it.
And Patrick, to answer your question, and thanks for bringing him by today, and interviewing him in the cut. So, to answer your question, you said what was the question again?
So, how do you build a deeper foundation of self-discipline, and how does that affect your life? Rather, if you have it in your life or you don't. So, how does self-discipline affect your life, and just how do you build it? How do you build a stronger foundation for it?
Oh, that's great. So I'm a person who does not have a very strong foundation for self-discipline. So I have to really motivate myself to find self-discipline from day to day, from one scenario to the next. It depends on what environment I'm in, honestly, and I have to really kind of pull my sense of self-discipline from the results of past experiences where I did not exercise a good sense of self-discipline. So, when you have the outcome to not exercising self-discipline as your reference point, and you have a few of those, then I think that starts to create like a need for self-discipline that you just can't deny.
That's a great question, man.
It is.
So yeah.
I definitely wanted to give these young men a compliment, because I know y'all are, 21, 22 years old?
Yeah, 22. Yeah, 21.
It's so amazing that you guys have already held yourselves accountable and you're already in the right mindset to be great. Because a lot of people, I'm a little bit older than you guys, but a lot of us, we didn't find it until we were in our 30s through trial and error. So the fact that you already have a game plan and you know where your strengths are, you know where your weaknesses are, and you're already disciplined, that's amazing that you can be that way at such a young age.
Appreciate that.
Because you don't need to mess off your 20s. You can build in your 20s, keep building and flourishing in your 30s. It's completely different than when we were raised. And I just think it's amazing that they're so young and they're so focused, and you guys have so much drive, and you already know what you bring to the table, and you also know where you lack. Well, so it's amazing just to be self-aware at such a young age.
I definitely help you with that.
Of course.
And I think I'm definitely learning how to be more disciplined. Like, having an RA job just taught me social discipline of everybody that I call, being classmates with someone, and also locate being a disciplinary taught me you can't be buddy because if you buddy in one place,
about that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I'm at a party, and it's crazy because if I'm at a party and I'm doing regular college things, you see what I'm saying? Someone may see me doing those regular college things and take it back to camp, and you feel what I'm saying, and try and use that against me when they're doing things on camp and breaking rules. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And the discipline to socially to have my friends and have people that I have to work with and have to work for. You see what I'm saying? And not treating everybody the same. But as far as personal discipline, I'm still working with that. I'm not gonna lie. I give myself grace as far as being young, but that's like a daily struggle. Like I try and meditate every day to like help build discipline, to like get myself in the routine of like sometimes people think that they don't have discipline because they don't do everything like the same way, but it's more so like what Bert said, like it's just addressing each situation differently and having the discipline and the awareness to look at your past situations and apply them differently. You see what I'm saying? Like it's insane to do the same thing over and over again, but if you're doing different things while you're doing it and you're failing, you're really learning. Like that's not an L. Like you're coming up because you're figuring out different ways to pursue what you're trying to do your way. You see what I'm saying? And along doing that, you're gonna mess up. But like when I think of discipline and I think of creating a foundation, like what I'm trying to currently pursue is like, basic things in my like morning routines, meditation, thoughts and prayers before I go to sleep, like small things like that, like that will bring discipline to my daily life.
Talk about it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I want to say I appreciate your compliment to us and just say we are aware, but we took it from y'all generation. You know what I'm saying? Like we built off what y'all built. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a step. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we took from y'all. We appreciate y'all contribution into our growth. And to go off what you said, a great way to build self-discipline is actually through intentions.
Yeah.
Because if you set intentions, you know exactly what you want to get and what you want to receive. If you go into a grocery store and you like, I'm going here to get juice, eggs, and milk, and you set those intentions, you go in and get that. You know what I'm saying? Everything is running smooth. That's self-discipline. You just discipline yourself to only get what you wanted when there's mad distractions around. You might have your favorite candy you trying to get off for a week, and it's right in your face, and you hungry, you want it, you want to grab it, but you made your intentions and you followed it. Yeah. Rather than look, if you go to the grocery store and just say, I'm hungry, I need stuff. When you're hungry, everything you see is going to look appetizing. So you're just going to get everything, and you're going to look. You're going to go in there, you trying to spend $50 cash. You might end up spending $200. Because you didn't have intentions. You didn't discipline. Practice self-discipline.
And the thing I'm learning as I'm growing is like, small moments like that can really like
help you.
It can help you, but it can like. Can we curse? Because it can fuck you up. Okay.
Yeah, you can say that.
Like, cause plus, it's like one of them things where it's like,
bro, this is a space where you be free, bro.
Be free. All right. Yeah, I ain't gonna do too much. Yeah, I ain't gonna do too much.
This is a barbershop, bro.
Like, but I'm saying like, when you do small things like that, like, it might be as small as like, oh, you're not being nutritious, you're not thinking about what you're eating. Yeah. But when you're an adult, like, you messing up your finances too. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Blowing $200 when you didn't expect it to, that can mess up what you got going on later on. Yeah. I've learned that off top. Like, going to JR Crickets and thinking that I could ball out with a shorty, like, you learn quick, like, oh, I might have needed that money for something else. I might have needed that for something else.
That's some Atlanta shit though, like.
You see what I'm saying? But like, I've learned through that, like, you don't gotta show off sometimes. Like, having discipline is like also being humble. You see what I'm saying? Like, having discipline is having humility to like know that like there's moments when you can do certain things and there's moments where you can't. And the acceptance of the times when you can't do things and you still stick by that, that's discipline. You see what I'm saying? Discipline isn't like, for me, it's not nothing cool, but it's like, it's cool in the mindset of like, that's the type of man I want to be. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing cool about like telling yourself no when you clearly want to tell yourself yes, other than the fact that like it's going to help you out later on. Exactly. And that's sometimes hard to swallow because it's like you want to do stuff when you want to do it.
And that goes back to what you said, sacrifice to get to where you need to be. If you want to have this certain look, you got to sacrifice eating certain things to look that way. If you want to have this certain income, you got to sacrifice certain activities and time to get to that bankroll that you want.
You know what, with the discipline though, let me touch on that though, because I've been working for Michael for 3 years now, and you know, I'm 38, I've got a kid at home.
In the house.
Part of building self-discipline is having people around you that you don't want to let down. Like, okay, you guys are doing this podcast today. Whose podcast is it? It's yours. If he didn't show up today, then he would have, you are making him accountable by you guys both building and growing together. He showed up for himself and because he would have let you down. Like when I have to go to a property or when I have to do things that I don't want to do, I do it for the team. I think that having good people around you that are disciplined and that see greatness in you and won't let you fall and be who you used to be or who you could be, it helps you evolve a lot quicker and a lot better, because I won't let him down. I won't let my team down. I'm not going to let my kid down. It's deeper than that. Like, we all got bills to pay. We all got everything to take care of. But when you have people around you that hold you accountable, that you don't want to disappoint, then I think that builds a lot of discipline. Having a solid team that everybody, you can't run a car without 4 tires. Mm-hmm. All 4 tires need to be full of air and need to be ready to go. So we just try to keep everybody positive. Everybody, like you said, find what you're good at. He doesn't say, oh, Kim, you should go do this, or I need you to do this for the team. Mm-hmm. I know where I'm strong, he knows where I'm strong, and that's where I conquer. And we have other people that do things that we're not so strong in. So I think being disciplined is who you're around, definitely.
And that's beautifully said, because a part of community is balance. And to get balance, you got to have somebody that has a strength, somebody that has a weakness, but those strengths and weaknesses go together to make, a beautiful combination. Like, at the end of the day, if we on a basketball team, and I can't pass, I can't dribble, but all I know how to do is shoot, and you know how to dribble and pass the rock, am I going to give the ball to you to shoot a 3? No. You going to get the rock, you going to dribble, you going to get down the court, find me, give me an open shot, I'm going to hit the 3. And that's going to be more effective than you do something you're not good at, and me doing something I know I'm not good at. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of a team.
I heard my big cousin say something one time. He was like, everybody want to be a shooter, but nobody want to be the person that passed to him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the truth.
And everybody on the team get them points.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, one person might have put it in the basket, but we all making them points together.
We all contribute to that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
I wanted to add too, because it was a two-part analogy that you mentioned. The effects of having the self-discipline foundation, right?
Yeah.
So, as a person who, like, I'm a master barber, and I'm a visual artist. I paint, I draw, design stuff. All these things I can do by myself without a team, right? So, on the art side, if I'm disciplined, then I'm actually producing artwork in all of my, what I'll call free time. I basically have to schedule time to create because my barbering career is so demanding. Yeah. So if I don't schedule that time to create, then I'm not feeding my, my artistic gift or my creative outlet or needs. And ultimately, that result is I can get depressed. I can get totally like into a creative shutdown kind of mode because I'm not factoring in the time to do that. You know what I'm saying? Which requires a discipline. Yeah. And then the result is when I actually do produce the artwork and I do take the time, then my art career flourishes. I'm selling paintings. I'm meeting more people. I'm getting shows. More opportunities come from that. So there's also like this positive effect of self-discipline. That can happen for anybody. Even like a person like myself who doesn't have self-discipline for real, and I don't work with a team. You know what I'm saying? Like I really do all my shit dolo. But I have a whole ton of people that count on me, and that's incentive.
I'm just saying. Fly a few days a week, people are counting on you.
Yeah, it's true.
My brother over here had a question for you, though.
Yes.
You figure you do all your stuff by yourself. How you think you don't have self-discipline?
That's a good question, because it definitely takes self-discipline to do stuff by yourself.
You finish all these things, so that's discipline enough to sit down and at least finish the end.
So I feel like I don't have self-discipline because I select when I apply it. If I had a true sense of self-discipline, then it wouldn't be a switch to switch on and off. It would just always be on. You know what I'm saying?
You're an artist, though. It's a little different.
I see where you're coming from. Cause look,
like I ate some bad food last night,
but
I drank an extra beer past when I was already buzzed. You know what I'm saying? I smoked I smoked a good amount of trees last night, and it led me to end up eating this bad food.
But look, the good thing about this is though he has awareness though.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because if you have
how my lack of self-discipline, it lands me in some crazy places.
But awareness, look, if you're aware that you have lack of self-discipline, there's always a solution because you know that there's something you're lacking. If you don't have awareness that you're lacking self-discipline, you will never be able to find out how to gain self-discipline. So he already got the first step. You got the awareness.
I also another question. Everybody pay attention in like high school when we was talking social studies class, right?
Social studies?
Nah, it's okay if you did.
I forgot what social studies was teaching.
It was like history, math.
It was teaching what?
Like history.
Sometimes that social aspect of high school will get you.
I don't know why.
Oh yeah, social studies did teach.
Yeah.
Social studies was teaching about American history, right? All that.
Yeah.
Not just American.
Revolutionary.
They teach you about everything.
Native American.
But the point of especially like elementary school through high school is really to give you conversation. It's to teach you how to be social.
Yeah.
All of it, math, all of it.
Social intelligence.
To give you things to say. What do you like to do? To of course deal with other people.
Yeah.
So when I asked that question, I'm like, all right, so y'all learned about like Taoism and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, same kind of concept. Like, what would you consider foolishness?
What do I consider foolishness?
I guess like repeated acts that have no cause.
I wouldn't call. I would say, what I call foolishness is like lack of knowledge of self, right? And you acting out of fear, and like he said, feeling like an environment is toxic, so you're poison and spreading that poison to other people. I feel like that's foolishness. Knowing that you're dealing with something and then negatively impacting someone else instead of healing yourself and being a positive addition to your environment.
That's foolish.
Yeah,
I feel like that's foolish.
Foolishness is a lack of, it's a lack of awareness.
In a sense.
Yes. And what was your definition? What was you about to say?
Oh, I was gonna say like constant acts of just bad intent, like having no intent. Yeah, like actions without recourse or like real intent, like just to do something to do it.
Cause
that's foolish.
I would never call anyone
without
foolish who constantly makes the same mistake, because at the end of the day, I have to have a level of forgiveness and patience for other people, because I can't judge somebody based off of my consciousness and look at them as lower and foolish than me. For me, their journey is their journey. That I don't judge nobody. For me, because their journey is their journey, my journey is mine.
Can change lives, and it can open other people up to, because it's uncomfortable to look into yourself.
Yeah.
It's very uncomfortable to say,
okay,
I lack here.
Exactly.
I'm not doing right. Like, it takes a whole nother sense.
So I'd rather do this. I'd rather do this than judge someone. Like, I'd rather bring someone to a barbershop with a healthy, uplifting environment and let them release the challenges they've went through and let them release the negative energy they have within themselves, so they can heal and grow, become more knowledgeable, and become less foolish without me even telling them they are foolish. I'm helping them.
But the thing is, right? See, all that aspect, you still made multiple judgments. For you to understand that the person is becoming less foolish, you already recognize they're fools.
It's more of awareness. I wouldn't even use the word foolish.
Awareness is a judgment. That's why you can make, if somebody gets hurt, you
it's an assessment. A judgment. We back to
we all judge.
We all judge, but
everybody judges.
It depends. If you're trying to be a negative judger, okay. But calling somebody a fool is like, if you're,
we don't gotta use the word fool.
Calling them a fool.
We don't even gotta use the word fool.
Call them a fool.
But you gave me the option fool. We don't even gotta use the word fool.
What I'm saying, for the word itself, that's why I said, what's your definition of foolishness?
I don't really have one, actually. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even think
I wouldn't call nobody a fool.
You wouldn't, and you also wouldn't look at somebody like that unless you saw their potential. Like, you wouldn't call somebody foolish and this and that and be like, oh man, they need to do better, unless you saw something in them. So sometimes that's why it is good to have a team that can, and people around you, even not if you don't work with a team, friends that are positive, you know.
That's facts.
If you smoke and you like to smoke, you don't want your boy to come over. You're not supposed to be hanging out with the guy who's going to come over with all the snacks, all the munchies, all the blunts, and y'all are going to smoke all night.
Word.
You know what I mean? You need to just make sure that you do everything.
Wait, hold on. I want to say this though. Look. I want to say this though. Like somebody in your eyes could be foolish, but they needed to go through that foolish moment to become wise.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They need to be foolish to become wise. You don't just pop up and be wise one day. You know what I'm saying? You gotta knock your head against a wall so hard one day you're like, I gotta stop running into this wall. You know what I'm saying? If they don't run into the wall, they're never gonna realize they should stop.
It's difficult to lead without an example or without being a follower first, but it's not impossible.
No,
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Trailblazers.
That's why I threw the word out there, because the word is a noun and an adjective. So we're looking at the noun aspect, not
You throwing curveballs at us, man.
Yeah.
Trying
It's like-
to strike us out.
like self-discipline and
curveballs.
foolishness, like they go hand in hand. If I'm foolish, adjective, I'm inciting into foolishness, a noun. So it's like, all right, what am I doing? I'm looking at the act of the person. It's like, if I could go hang out with a bunch of people
define him as a fool.
that smokes blunts all day, and it's like,
That's
I hang out with these people.
not foolishness. Yeah.
But self-discipline.
I know I'm not gonna smoke.
You are aware of what the error would be to not make the error.
Or not even the air, just the way my body is and who I am. I know I'm not gonna touch that. That can't. Somebody else could smoke 10 blunts a day and they still do what they need to do. Everybody's different. Exactly. It just doesn't work.
But I choose what is good for my life, and what's good for my life is when I'm done taking care of my son, getting him to and from the football, working, running around, going to properties. I'll sit back and have my little Hennessy with some Red Bull and.
Cause that relaxes you. Cause that works with you.
That's how I get 7:30, 8 o'clock p.m. every evening.
And that works for you.
That keeps me on the streets. My work is done. I'm accomplished, and if that makes me feel better, then cool.
That works for you.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna sit around and have a smoke session.
Word.
And I'm gonna miss the showing at 10 o'clock
Word.
in the morning because I'm waking up at 9:30, 10. I know when I need to stop. I know when I can start, and I know when I need to stop. I guess that's
Exactly. That's self-discipline.
Nice.
And that's my answer. If I have to answer what is foolishness, it's lack of knowledge of self. If you don't know how you work and you're following the way other people work and relating that to you, that's foolish because you're not them, you're you. So if you want to say foolishness is lack of knowledge of self.
Yeah.
We can say that.
Talk about some good stuff today, man.
And that's what makes
Yes,
somebody
they
wise.
did. They're
Word.
very
Yeah, but,
intelligent.
and I'm gonna go back to self-discipline, right? So to be disciplined, it started with rituals, right? Get up in the morning, it's like abiding, meditation, what I'm saying?
Gratitude.
Quiet time, gratitude, things you're thankful for, right? So you start there, right? So you kind of get your rituals going, and what happens is become a pattern. And also the main thing that kind of keeps you on discipline is your why. Like you in school right now, your why. I gotta graduate. I gotta get my career going. So you're not gonna let anything stop you on your why. So that's my first thing, right?
Yeah.
Next thing I gotta get out of Morehouse. Boom. So I want to be an engineer. So I gotta go to Georgia Tech. My why is on purpose. I gotta get these grades. I want to have a good time. Want to smoke. Want to drink. But hold on, I gotta stop there to push forward to come to my goal.
100%.
Next thing, then you get married, get a family.
Yeah.
Then you start having kids. So then your why constantly change, right? And those things in turn creates more discipline because it's bigger than each one of you.
Exactly. It's aligned to a purpose that's
Exactly.
bigger than you.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
You
So
hit it
it's
right
very
on the
important.
dot.
And
Right on
it's
the
like
dot.
You know what?
He was gonna keep
We
it
might have to
secret.
get you on the show. Both of y'all. We might have to get you on the
He was gonna keep it low that you went to.
Oh, no, that's all. You gotta get your shine. You know what I'm saying? So that's important, man. Morehouse, man, is it's gonna change your life. You meet some amazing cats, right? So enjoy it because this is the only time in the history of your life that you are the focus. In Morehouse, you are the focus. When we get in this mean world out here, you're gonna, but Morehouse builds you up to where you can handle anything, anything.
Sure.
No obstacle, you can do anything.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, y'all be safe.
Y'all
Take
stay
care,
safe.
man.
God bless.
That's it.
All right, y'all take care. Okay.
I'm gonna transition to that seat over there.
What's the next question then?
The next topic. I mean, we got into the next topic. We got into all the topics that we supposed to.
Oh, right.
BJ called.
Yo, my self-discipline is the absolute worst when I go to the strip club. Bro.
Nah, this guy's
so what I
funny.
do is I try not to go. You know what I'm saying? I just don't even go.
That works.
Because I don't have none. Once I, you know what I'm saying? Once I get in that environment, bro,
Yeah.
it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Definitely good.
The next
All the
topic.
way up. And, you know, that sauce, man, I get that sauce in my
Oh, you
system.
get that sauce in your system. It's
Slippery
clip.
slope, right?
Clip. It's clip.
No.
But yeah, the next topic of discussion was how important is leadership at Morehouse and beyond. So how important is leadership at Morehouse and just beyond, outside of Morehouse too, included?
I think like it's important at Morehouse because like it's a microcosm of like the demographic that we're a part of. Like as young black men, like being at Morehouse, like that's all you're gonna be around. And I learned there, like like it's so many different layers and flavors and personalities and angles to being just black, let alone a man. You see what I'm saying? So like being a leader at Morehouse is like really tying that all in and like being a master of those personalities, being a master of your community. But it's like sometimes you can get a leadership position just because you're the only person that applied. You see what I'm saying? Or just because you wanted it the most, but not because you were the best suited for it. So I feel like real leaders at Morehouse are people that can hold a position or don't hold a position, but like they're well respected by their peers. Like that's what a leader is. Like when I think of somebody in a certain aspect of like whether that be entertainment or academics or social life, like there's a certain person I think about that's a leader in that type of realm at our school. So like when you can master that at Morehouse, you can master that outside. Because like when you can be a confident person within yourself, like when you can just walk and talk and be confident in the things that you know and the things that you're trying to do, nobody can take that from you. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what we learned there off top. Like you have to learn how to follow, then you have to learn how to lead, but most importantly, you got to learn how to be yourself. Like that's what being a leader at Morehouse is. And then once you get beyond Morehouse, being yourself and having those positions of following and leading, wherever you got to fit in, you're gonna fit in. You feel what I'm saying? Because like you're recognizing like I'm not gonna change. I didn't come here to shapeshift. You feel what I'm saying? I came here to either do this job or get to know more people. Like I came here to pursue a purpose. I'm not letting the things that I'm involved in change my core values. You see what I'm saying? So that's something that's like
talk right now.
Like Morehouse, that's what it'll show you. Like it'll give you that chance to know yourself if you really let it. And from there, like you're gonna be unshakable. Like people talk about the arrogance that comes with being a Morehouse man, and like you see it. It's definitely facts, but it's like once you go through what we've gone through, you would know like why motherfuckers walk around so cocky. Because it's just like you really can't tell me nothing. I've been to the calf 3 days in a row, and it ain't had nothing in there, and I had to feed myself all 3 of them days. Then when I left the calf, there was nothing to do. I had to do my homework, you feel what I'm saying? Then we got done with that, you know what I'm saying? We went to a party. The same dudes I go to class with trying to charge me 20 at the door. I had to finesse that a little bit. Of course I finessed it. I wasn't paying 20 at the door, you see what I'm saying?
You're crazy.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So it's just like
imagine.
So like when you go through all these little things, like you just start to get that hick on your shit, like you start to get that chip on your shoulder, and then along with that and growing and knowing yourself, like it's just like nobody can take that off you.
Nobody.
Like, it's just gonna keep.
It's actually confidence, natural confidence that you gain from overcoming adverse situations or whatever.
Yeah, it be the extreme, the greatest bullshit that comes with being at Morehouse is everything is there, but realistically it's outside of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
literally, like you.
Yeah. You gotta go get that.
If I want a well-known coffee like Starbucks, damn, I gotta go to Spelman for that. And they're not gonna let you on, so you gotta be like, damn, how am I gonna finesse those security guards? You gotta be friends, You gotta be friends with security guards to get on. Like, I learned this from one of the bros in the LGBT community. I was like, how you coming from campus at 6 a.m? He said, oh, number one, I can stay here because they're not gonna bother me. I said, okay, I understand that one. And he said, and if they just see you all the time and they know you're gonna leave campus, you could stay on campus.
Exactly. Wow. You see what connections and networking does?
I was like, he said, don't be in the dorms, walking the halls. You're gonna be in the dorms, be in the dorms on the way out the door. Yeah. He said, and then go to like the public spot in the middle of campus because they're not gonna bother you.
They're not.
Wow.
Like more like it's not gonna teach you overt things about leadership, but like if you really came there to learn about yourself and put yourself in situations,
That's key.
You're gonna run into these situations. Like the stuff that you're talking about, like how to get over security, how to get over financial aid, how to get over the lady in the cab that's talking about you and swipe your card too much. Like you learn that quick.
That builds.
Like, if you don't learn that, then you're not eating.
You building social skills.
Yeah, like you got to get through it. So it's gonna teach you that the hard way.
Yeah, I definitely felt my leadership identity and role, like going through Morehouse, and not even It's like you learn more at Morehouse rather than in Morehouse classes. Like I learned more just being in that environment than being in the classroom. You know what I'm saying? So just being in that environment, just being in the black mecca for, you know, black knowledge and just knowledge, you know, for black men to be built into leaders, like that had me find my purpose.
I will say
for it. Not even in the classroom. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Like
outside of the classroom.
Like knowledge of life gave me more value than knowledge in class. I can't even lie to you.
I'm not gonna lie, like people don't know, but like the first year I was RA and this freshman year, they had a community, and it was like partially because we built it, but also because these brothers came in with like this idea of like, yo, like they already had an idea of what Morehouse was, but once they were able to manufacture it the way they wanted to in their house comfortably, every day in Du Bois there were conversations happening in our lobby that people from other houses were coming to be a part of.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And that's when I knew it was a little bit different.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? When you can have tough conversations about life, about finances, about sexual orientation, about campus culture, and these are the people you live with, these are the people you eat with, and we're all just here to learn about each other, we're all just here to get to that next step of growth. Like that's what our school is about.
Yes.
You feel what I'm saying? Our school, like it can be asked sometimes, like school in general could be asked, but it's like when you come and you came here for the network that it provides, which is each other, then you're not going to be like, you're not going to have a bad time. You're not going to have a bad time.
No, 100%.
Yeah, I actually did not attend college, but I have some awesome leadership qualities, and I've got some great relationships with a bunch of Morehouse brothers. A bunch of y'all Morehouse alumni are my network, and they have blessed my life like tremendously. You know what I'm saying? Just in our exchange, in our sense of brotherhood as a barber, you're kind of looked up to as a leader in the community. You know what I'm saying? So, especially if you're serious about it, and like you're not just cutting hair, you're actually grooming people for greatness. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. And then also providing an environment, you know what I'm saying, that's for the community. It's for the whole community to be able to come into, and in that exchange, they end up getting what I get from brothers that I'm connected to from Morehouse and you know, that have gone to other schools. Like I graduated from high school in '93 in Colorado. Shout out Denver, man, all my Denver folks. So a bunch of my friends were going out to college that same year, and I didn't. I went straight in to start working in a shop in my neighborhood, you know. So in that moment, it was like, all right, this is my commitment to leadership. You know what I'm saying? Like at the tender age of 18, 19 years old, I'm already out here, you know, with a whole ass career.
No, for real.
You know, and really servicing the community. You know what I'm saying? So growing and maturing in that, and coming to Atlanta, and the things that I've been able to add to that here, bro, is like everything. You know what I'm saying?
Real.
It feels like I'm ready for whatever is next now.
That's real. Yeah. So we already talked about community, so that was really the last topic of conversation. For real. Oh, I got one more question for us before we close out. What are you willing to do to be a part of a brotherhood and build a community, a positive, healthy, growing community? What are you willing to do to be a part of that process? And what does that will come from? What inspires that will?
Yeah, I gotta also shout out real quick. I gotta shout out my moms, because we talked about discipline and leadership, and both of those things are paths that lead back to my mother.
Shout out to Mama
You
Love.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Shout out to mom. Shout out to mamas all over.
Shout
out to moms all over. You heard? I'm about to, when I edit this video, I'm about to put like a big little title card. Shout out to moms across the world. I'm about to put it like there.
Right there?
Yeah, right here. Word. I'm about to put it right there.
No, yeah. I mean, I told the story like being
You remember the question?
Yeah. That was the sacrifice that I wanted to make to build community. Like when I came to Morehouse and I peeped, like my RA shaped my friendships. in my entire year. Like, he came to us off top and was just like, yo, like, whatever y'all was doing before, wherever y'all came from before, however y'all did things somewhere else, this is completely new. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is your first time living on the floor with 30 other young men. Y'all gonna have to share this bathroom. You're gonna have to share this sink. Y'all gonna have to share this living space. Yeah, and that was the way we thought about it. But the way bro angled it was just like, if you keep your doors open, this is a home. Like, nobody's coming to the top floor of LLC. You see what I'm saying? Like, nobody was coming to our floor. So we couldn't come to our floor and go straight to our room, because that's how it becomes prison. But if I come to the floor and every room is open and we all kicking it, we all listening to music, we all vibing, like, from this day, from those days to now, those are my bros. Like, as soon as I touched down in Atlanta, everybody came and touched down.
You went from prison to orphanage. I got you.
No, yeah. For sure. Because motherfuckers in prison will be shoulder to shoulder, but still hate each other. You see what I'm saying? Wow, it's just like,
and it goes right back to what you were saying, bro. It goes right back to what you said. You know why they hate each other? Because they hate the environment.
Yeah, if you hate the environment, then it's gonna be poisonous. But like, when he spit it to me, like, yo, if y'all enjoy this time where y'all are all young men trying to accomplish the same thing, like, y'all not the first people to live in these rooms. Clearly, like, the building says it was built in 1972. You see what I'm saying? But y'all can be the first to all collectively get up out of here together. You see what I'm saying? And to watch, being here now for extra semester, but watch my bros graduate was like, that was like, I felt a real accomplishment. Like, we was on the phone like 6 deep on a FaceTime call talking about, the bros who are in their career and the bros who are getting out of Morehouse. And like, to go from those days when we was in LLC as freshmen, talking about when we're going to go to the CAF, the things that we wanted senior year and things like that, to be here now, it's like, it's surreal, because I look at other people and they lost friend groups every semester. Every matriculation process, like sophomore, junior, senior year, you see them with new groups of people.
New friend groups.
You see what I'm saying? And I always was able to create more friends, but my base of the people that I was with, that my RA provided for me,
stuck with
it. Like, those are still my bros to this day. Like, bro who dropped me off here today, that's who I used to live with type time. When I found the place and he needed a place, I showed him the place that I was living at. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's how effortless it was. Like, those are really my bros. So when I knew that community helped me, and I could give into that community as being an RA, I instantly went to Du Bois and tried to do the same thing. Like, I instantly tried to create that community and instilled in the dudes under me, and to see them become seniors now, and to see them leaving campus and hanging out with each other. Seeing Patrick talk about this YouTube channel for 4+ years and go from live reactions at Hump Wednesdays, live reactions at Homecoming, to being in a barbershop where he clearly has connections outside a cultural institution outside of school. Like, some people will only do stuff like in their room, but bro took it to another level. You see what I'm saying?
I appreciate
and to see him commit to that from freshman year to where he is now, and knowing like all it took to the communities along the way. Like, there was never a point where like I didn't want to support the people who were around me while I was at Morehouse. You see what I'm saying? Like, I may not like you, but your success is my success. You see what I'm saying? So it was effortless for me to be on here, but it was also effortless for me to share this
philosophy.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, even watching him start his YouTube channel, I could see dudes be like, man, of course this dude want to be on YouTube. Everybody want to be hype. But as you started to see him be more consistent about it, be more serious about it, brothers started really connecting with it. Like, they really started to appreciate what he was doing.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And that's the community that I wanted to be a part of. Mm-hmm. That's the community that I wanted to foster type time.
Word.
So like, I mean, I feel like if you want to be a part of something and you're serious about it, you just got to find your role and adapt to it. You feel what I'm saying? Because nothing's going to be perfect. If you waiting for, the stars to align, they're not going to align, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Like, a part of the stars
they will, but it's just not
stepping up.
They go online, but not at the time you wanted to.
But you got to think the time that you wanted to, before that time, you got to put work in.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
If the stars align, if the stars align, and
you can control your damn self.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Right. If the stars align and you're not ready, then you wasting that opportunity.
And I just want to say one thing. I appreciate you, talking about my path and my journey of manifesting this channel. And once I found out my purpose, I realized it was more than YouTube. I want to create a healing space for people. I want to create spaces where people can heal. Feel me? I want to facilitate growth and healing. So that's what it really is. But this, this version of my healing space and this part of my journey and helping open up a healing space would have never been possible if it wasn't for the owner of this barbershop. Ernie, the Ernest. You know what I'm saying? Ernest. For me, the shop is called Ernie's in the Cut. So if y'all ever need a cut, feel me, I'm gonna put the Instagram right here. Wait.
I got your Morehouse special too.
Yeah, it's flying here too.
I'm gonna put the Instagram right here. But nah, real shout out to Ernesto for letting me just use this space as a healing ground. It wouldn't be, the podcast wouldn't be the way it is now if it wasn't for his help and his support. And that's what community is. I had the idea, he had the form, the structure, the space. You know what I'm saying? We put it together, made this project. You know what I'm saying? So you come here, you learn something new because this is a cultural institution. So you'll come to this barbershop, you'll leave here knowing something more about yourself or others, and you'll get a cut. Yeah. So you definitely need to come by Ernie's in the cut. Instagram is right here, like I said. Pull up, get a cut, catch a vibe, and learn something new. At the end of the day, meet somebody, make connections, and grow. That's what life is about. Healing and growing, bro. That's what life is about. So I'm saying this was a beautiful episode, great closeout. At the end of the day, I got my brother Kyree. His gram will be right here too. I'm gonna put everybody gram right here. Better. At the end of the day, I just want to ask everybody at the end of this podcast, how your vibes feeling? Is your vibration high right now? Like, how you feeling? You feeling good? You feeling cleansed? Like, how y'all feel now after we just finished this episode?
I'd like Mary to answer that first.
How you feeling? Just from experiencing
the entire time you've been here.
Just from absorbing this energy, how do you feel? How does your soul feel? Like, how you feel today right now?
I feel good. I'm just listening, taking it all in. It's a lot of positivity.
She can feel the vibes. She can feel the vibes. But yeah, man, she can feel the vibes. I just want to say, I feel cleansed. Like, I feel whole. I feel like, for me, I definitely eat none. That might be a part of it too. All I drink was tea. So that might be another reason why I feel cleansed. But just to be in this space and help brothers talk and communicate and just be vulnerable and open about what we went through in life definitely raises me up, because it's like I was able to help someone else, and through helping them, I learned something to help myself. So I feel real good.
Yeah, I definitely feel refreshed. Yeah. I feel like I took my mask off and now my face can breathe.
Yes, sir. That was smooth. Talk to me. Mask off, baby. That's what it's about. That's what this project is about, man. Take your mask off so you can really see the beauty of yourself. You know what I'm saying? That mask is temporary. For real. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Healing and growth. We out. Till next time. Boof. After watching this video, make sure you share this to someone you feel needs the message. At the end of the day, subscribe, tune in, like the video, comment. I would love to hear what you guys think about the messages and the interviews and just any ideas to make this show pop. I love y'all. One love, peace, love, and blessings. And everyone have an amazing day.